Hey people, welcome to the Run Test. It's Kieran here and welcome to our first run look at the Altra Via Olympus. Now this is Altra's highest stacked, max cushion, zero drop shoe that it says is designed for comfortable runs over any distance. So does it live up to the billing? Well, I've taken it for a quick spin and in this video I'm going to tell you what my first impressions were. Watch on to find out. So some quick details then. Well, the Altra Via Olympus comes in with Altra's trademark zero drop. They call it balanced midsole cushioning, but essentially what you've got is a 33mm stack of midsole foam in the heel and the same in the toe to create that zero drop neutral run. Price wise, it's going to cost you £145 or $170 in the US. When it comes to weight, the Altra Via Olympus weigh in at 11 ounces or 311 grams in a UK men's size 9. So let's take a look at some of the key design features then in the Altra Via Olympus. Well, the first thing you notice, you've got this hulking great stack of midsole foam. That is Altra's Ego Max compressed EVA midsole foam. It comes with a zero drop design, which Altra refers to as its kind of balanced cushioning system. There's a late stage rocker in the forefoot, and that's there to encourage a more efficient toe off with better momentum. Up top, you've got an open weave jacquard mesh upper. So you've got a nicely padded heel collar, nicely padded tongue. Crucially, there's no plastic heel counter built into the heel. That, Altra says, has been removed to avoid any extra unnecessary irritation and wear and tear on the shoe. Flip it over and you see that you've got a nice covering of outsole rubber, but also you've got this kind of flex grooves sort of pattern up here that run parallel to the bones in your foot. And again, Altra says that's there to help kind of create a more natural flex as you're running and moving. And then finally, you've got Altra's trademark kind of toe cut here, this toe shaping and wide toe box, which is really, really roomy and gives plenty of wiggle room up there, up the top for your toes to maneuver. So when it came to fit, I actually ran in a UK size 9, which is half a size bigger than I would normally run, but that was the shoe I was sent to run in. Sometimes I can run in a 9 depending on the fit of the shoe. Overall though, I feel like this, Altra shoe is nice and roomy anyway, and I feel like this was probably half a size. It was just a little bit up too much for me in terms of the overall fit, and I definitely would recommend going true to size. I would be going 8.5 in this shoe, so true to my size. So I'm just back from my first run with the Altra Via Olympus. First thing to say is I haven't run in Altra shoes for quite a while. So the Via Olympus road shoes are the first outing in those kind of, they're not called zero drop anymore, they're sort of balanced midsole cushioning system or something like that is what Altra calls them. But essentially what you've got is zero drop shoes with a big high stack. This is their max cushion shoe. So it's a bit like the New Balance Small V4 for me in terms of the overall kind of shape as well. But we are looking at something that's got a huge hulking great platform of midsole foam and quite a pronounced kind of rocker geometry on it as well. Now from that first run, I found these shoes really firm from the get-go. And again, I always say this, but I'm someone who likes firm shoes. I don't know whether that's something that sort of took a little bit of a while for the midsoles to soften up or whether that will happen over time, but these are by far one of the firmest shoes that I've run in for a long time. So one shoe that sprang to mind here was, these were almost a bit like the Adidas Adi-style shoe in terms of the overall firmness. It's a very sort of similar feel, I thought, underfoot initially. They grew on me as the run went on, and actually later into the run, I started to really sort of focus a little bit more on my form overall. The first bit I was sort of just out for an easy plod and I was probably a little bit saggy and was a bit back on my heels. Concentrated on my form a little bit more and started to run a bit more tall and a bit more straight with a higher cadence up on my sort of mid to forefoot a little bit more. Probably at a slightly faster pace as well. And actually that's when I think they felt a little bit more kind of natural. That firmness kind of drifted a little bit as you sort of got more of the turnover of the shoes on the go. They are super comfortable. I mean, they've got these massive hulking great plush kind of super cushioned heel collars, really plush tongues. And there's, as a shoe that I think Altra wants to be like a kind of long distance, easy run shoe, these certainly kind of fitted that bill in terms of the overall kind of upper plushness and cushioning and softness around the kind of heel and the hold. All of that stuff was kind of fine. Underfoot, I just found the base a little bit firmer than I would really like, and that's going some for even for me. So in terms of the way they feel on the feet, they are a super sort of comfortable shoe. They've got an awful lot of cushioning and padding. There's kind of, they're basically super luxe, kind of plush, big thick heel collars, nice big thick padded tongues. They feel good the way they wrap the foot, with still got plenty of room in the toe box. And this is the kind of stuff that Altra sort of put there because these are designed to go long and be a kind of super plush long run shoe. Now I only did a 10k in them. I did it quite slow. I was running at about kind of 9-minute miles, which is probably, that's my kind of really easy run pace. That's my kind of low and slow cardio pace. And at that pace, I found them kind of fine. I wasn't really in love with them. I just found them a little bit clunky and a little bit clumpy on that first run. That might change, and I guess this is something that maybe you sort of get into this world of Ultra shoes. Are you an Ultra shoes person? I guess is one question that people might ask about these, because they run slightly differently. They have got a different kind of approach to creating your running shoes. Maybe it will take a little bit of time to get used to that different kind of platform and enjoy it. It's something different I've been running in recently. You know, I guess obviously we're testing here, mainly what we're testing a lot of the time is sort of these super soft max cushion shoes, and this by comparison to me feels like a super firm. Now the one thing that Ultra will also say though is that you do get a really good kind of response from these, but I'm not sure that I was getting that as much as I would like. I found them a little bit dull in terms of that kind of response from the ground upwards, which is why I sort of found them sort of fine to be sort of plodding along in, but yeah, they just weren't really that forgiving in my mind, and I don't mind whacking along in a firm shoe. So in terms of a verdict after this first run then, well, I'm really going to hold back on this because I think Ultra deserve a little bit of a chance to show what they can do. I'm a new runner to these shoes. I'm a new runner to the idea of how Ultra shoes work, so I want to give them a bit more of a chance before I sort of jump in and give a verdict. Early run first impressions were that they were a little bit firmer than I would like. I don't think that a little bit heavier than I would like as well. They was one of them heaviest shoes that I've run in. In fact, on the list of shoes that I've been testing, there's like the second heaviest shoe before the Brooks Levitate 6, a shoe that I think I actually enjoyed a lot more. I think it's going to be interesting, you know, sort of different way of splitting this between something that has a sort of similar silhouette to something like the New Balance More V4, which is a bit softer, and you've got this one which is a bit firmer. So I'm going to be interested to put those two side by side again. So first impressions, wasn't in love with these on the first run, but I'm going to give them more time basically. So there you have it. That's been my first run look at the Altra Via Olympus. If you've worn Ultra shoes, if I'm missing the point here, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. If you've got the Via Olympus and you've run in them and you love them or you hate them, tell us in the comments below. We're always interested to hear your feedback about the shoes that we're testing as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when other videos come up on the channel. Loads of stuff happening soon. We've got some really big launches happening in the really, really exciting kind of super shoe space that we know you're going to love. Ring the bell so you get notified when those boys land. And we'll bring you all the latest information on all the shoes as ever. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you, and we hope to see you again soon on the Run Testers.